My family felt led to go to South Africa, not knowing why or what God was calling us to. Little did we know that He was stirring something in our heart to go back to our hometown and plant a church. And we said yes to God. And so we came back not knowing how to plant a church, not knowing how to lead a church, not even knowing how to preach, and embarked on a radical journey of doing what God asked us to do, which was to plant a model church back in our hometown of Newport Beach. We got back. I had a business that I am still running, but had to get that established. We didn't know where we were going to live. We only knew that we had a place to stay for 2 weeks at my parents' house. And so we moved in there for 2 weeks. I didn't want to even start thinking about planting a church until June, it's 6-7 months down the line. I didn't even want to start thinking about learning about how to plant a church. And it wasn't 2 weeks into us being back, and just kind of little by little, people started just grabbing us and saying, we've been praying, we're kind of churchless. We feel like church refugees. We don't have anywhere to go. We've been praying for something like this. Can we get coffee? So we start to share vision and share what we feel God has called us to and what He's stirring in our heart. And it just really seemed to inspire people. And a lot of people's response was like, I want to see what that looks like. I want to see the more of Jesus and the life of His church. And people start saying, can we at least get together to pray? Just pray about what God's doing. And now we're into like early mid-February. And so I say, okay, we'll have this prayer meeting, let's be praying for what God's doing, but I don't want to start thinking about planting until June. Well, so we get together, we have a prayer meeting. Everyone at the prayer meeting says, what'd be wonderful is if we got our families together next week and had a meal and worship together. And so we said, okay, yeah, that'd be fun. Let's get all the families together. So we do that. The next Wednesday, we do that. We get the families together, we worship, we have a meal together. And everybody says, can we do this again next week? And then next week, and then next week. And we're now still late February, early March, watching a church be planted by no effort of mine. And it happened. It started to grow. People that we've never met before start being added to us. Meanwhile, somehow I'm leading this thing and totally out of my capacity, just totally relying on the Holy Spirit to let Him do the work. I've kind of come up with this saying that God will build His church if we let Him. We started approaching Easter. We were having kind of this weekly Wednesday night kind of community group, and we started approaching Easter. Andrew Selly happened to be in town. I think we were doing a equip or something like that. He shows up 2 weeks before Easter and goes, hey, so are we planting you on Easter? And I'm like, I'm just, remember, I didn't want to start thinking about planting a church until June. And the whole church is going, what are we going to do on Easter? So we planted JoshGen Newport Beach on Easter of 2023. We've planted a church. The church has grown. We've seen radical transformation in people's lives. And now we're kind of stepping into a new season where I think we're poised for really God to add people to us. We've been bottlenecked in kind of restricted because of the size of our venue. But we're just watching God's hand just move. People's lives being transformed. People going from lifelong, pretty lukewarm to absolutely on fire for God. The kids being on fire for God. And it's been the journey of a lifetime and the adventure of a lifetime. And we look into the future going, Lord, whatever you ask of us, our life is yours. And when we do that, we see the fruit of a church and lives being transformed. I'm Chaz, and this is my story.